Well, good morning. Thank you for coming again. This is Buckeye Wars. Little series I've put together, little snippets, memories mostly, of what life was like for me growing up in El Dorado Hills, California, back in the 70s and the 80s. Now, I've made oodles and oodles of these videos because I want to kind of document what my life was like so that I can share with future grandkids that wonder, what was your life like, Grandpa? Anyway, um, we had a cat. It was my cat. And it was a long haired, solid gray, kind of a light gray Persian. Very friendly. Outdoor cat, so we didn't have to deal with litter boxes, thank God. Had to feed it, obviously. So I would do, I think we even did dry food for her. So it wasn't all that hard for a kid. And so loving of a cat. Just absolutely wonderful. What's funny about this cat, we lived in a court that had a slight hill to it. So when you came off of the road and turned into the court, there was a little bit of an incline downward. I mean, a decent sized court, and we had a neighbor to one side of us that was the first house, and then we were the second house on the right as you headed down the court. Now that's kind of neither here nor there, but the gray cat, which I called Gray, that was her name. She would wait at the top of the court for us to get home. For some reason, she knew what time we would get home. And she would be at the top of the court to await the car coming home with her family in it. It was wonderful. We'd come around the corner and we had to be careful that we didn't hit her because she'd be sitting there waiting for us to come and then be all excited and run down the court after us because she knew that her family was home now. And I'd never known a cat or even a dog to do something like that. Fabulous cat, very devoted to us. And being it was long haired, very, very fun to cuddle with and pet. And up the street from us was up the court on the other side of the street that connected with the court. There was construction going on. They were building new houses at the time. And Gray came home one time, and along from her, the top of her head all the way to about halfway down her tail was orange paint. Some SOB painted her with probably one stroke of a paintbrush. He must have been painting something, and I would imagine he was from that construction site because they had a lot of stuff that logically would tell me that that's probably where it came from. Can you imagine? She was covered in well, not covered, but striped like a skunk, only with bright orange, almost fluorescent orange paint. It was awful, poor thing. So cleaning her up was really quite a project, getting that paint off of her. And then, if I remember correctly, a little bit time went by and she got pregnant and she had some kittens. And Dad wasn't having that. He's like, okay, one cat's fine, but a whole slew of them, So I think we got rid of her and the kittens, gave them away to somebody because then our life transitioned to dogs, and that's where Lumper came in. I look at the previous video. I believe it's number 89, 88, telling about Lumper. Anyway, that's the story of Gray Gray. She was a wonderful cat. Thank you for joining me for Buckeye Wars.